Sidebar. So with respect to what is currently pending before the court this morning, Ms. Marshall, is the court correct in presuming that the only matter left for hearing now is the amended motion to withdraw and motion to continue to allow the defendant to retain new counsel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to let you go ahead and proceed to make your argument on that motion.
Your Honor, at this point, circumstances have arisen that have caused an irreconcilable difference between my client and I, and the circumstances are such that I believe there is a mandatory requirement to withdraw, and I'm moving to withdraw based on those grounds at this time.
Okay, so let me just ask a few questions, because earlier in the week, your motion was primarily based on the fact that you had received a job offer, I think, from ORCC, and I had asked you to go back to them and find out if the trial in this matter were to proceed in early January, if that would create any problem with them continuing to make the offer to you, and that you could report immediately after the trial. Am I to understand that with the amended motion that that is not really the crux of the motion anymore, but it's founded on some other legal point like irreconcilable conflict or something of those along those lines? Because as you know, the legal matrix between considering the two is very different. And so if you're telling me that there's an irreconcilable conflict in representing your client at this point that has now been created by the circumstances, then I'll have to assess that under a different legal standard than I would have assessed just the convenience issue.
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
Okay. All right, Ms. Coakley, what is the state's position in regard to this?
I don't have any further, based on the second ground, I leave it in the discretion of the court. I will say that Your Honor should not address any motion to continue at this time.
Well, I'm actually going to deny the motion to continue until you've represented at sidebar that Mrs. Ferriter already has counsel ready to appear. So I'm going to set a status check and have that new attorney come in on an immediate basis. And my intentions are to proceed forthwith as promptly as possible, because even though ultimately, under the circumstances, I think, unlike what I would have done with just a convenience and probably denied the motion to withdraw and push this thing to trial, if there's a conflict, I need to take a more serious look to that, and so I would likely be granting the motion to withdraw. In fact, I am going to grant the motion to withdraw based on the fact that there's a conflict that's been represented to the court. However, I am going to deny without prejudice any motion to continue. I'm going to give the defendant, Mrs. Ferriter, 10 days from today's date to have her attorney file a notice of appearance. And any attorney that she retains should be prepared to address the court as to how quickly they can proceed to trial. Given the fact that any attorney taking this case is going to be taking it with the knowledge that it's already currently set for trial, I'm going to want to inquire very significantly as to if they take the case and they know they can't go in early January, why they took the case. So right now the motion to continue is going to be denied without prejudice, and I will set this for status check. I'm saying 10 days, that gets us to, let's set it for status check Monday, December 18th. And that'll be purpose for determining status of defendant Tracy Ferriter's counsel, and also for addressing any trial matters that may need to be addressed prior to the January docket, because right now this matter remains on the January docket. Anything else that I need to address from either you, Ms. Marshall, or you, Ms. Coakley?
Would you consider setting the status check for next Friday, since we already have, or is that?
I don't have a problem setting, the next Friday is what, that's the sentencing hearing. I don't have a problem setting it for next Friday. That's a little shorter than the 10 days. I just wanted to make sure that, but according to you, Ms. Marshall, the 10 days really is not really necessary because she already has somebody waiting to make an appearance?
Yeah, she hasn't submitted a retainer, to my understanding, and he hasn't.
Has not?
Right, but
Yeah.
they are in verbal agreement.
Yeah, I want whoever's retained, though, to be informed in advance that this case is currently set for trial. It's been pending for quite a while on the trial docket. This, with no adverse judgment on you, Ms. Marshall, this is a very, very late filed motion to withdraw, literally on the eve of trial. It does disrupt the court's calendar. It impacts the orderly administration of justice. So I say all those things for the record so that it's clear that granting a motion to continue is not a foregone conclusion in this matter, and it should not be a foregone conclusion by any counsel willing to step forward and represent Ms. Ferriter in this matter, and they're going to need to know that in advance, and that's why I'm denying it without prejudice. They can come in and make their arguments, but given the nature of this matter, how long it's been pending, and the judicial resources that have been necessary to bring these matters to trial, my strong preference would be not to continue unless I'm persuaded that I really have no choice in the matter. So that's kind of where I stand on it. Anything else? And so we'll set the status check instead of the 18th. We'll set it for next Friday. What time is the sentencing hearing scheduled for?
10:30.
So we'll set
Or
it.
not the sentencing hearing, the bond motion, but yes.
The bond motion, yeah. So we'll set it at the same time that the motion for appellate bond is set for next Friday, and that is the 15th at 10:30. All right? And just prepare an order this morning, Ms. Marshall, that indicates your motion to withdraw is granted. The motion to continue is denied without prejudice. All right? Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Apologies for the turn.
All right, everyone have a good day.